Good morning, world. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, everyone. It's up your o'clock. Welcome to today's episode of Up You with Azine Show. It's another exciting one where we dive into the world of finance and financial support for women. Yes. How you all doing? I hope everyone is good. I hope everyone is fine. I hope everyone is thriving. Yes, that's the word, is thriving. So our topic today is empowering women through finance. I know they say we love money, women. Yes, that's what they say. They always accuse us that we like money, we love money, give a woman money, and then okay. But today we'll just be finding out a few things. It's Up You with Azine, still your favorite female-centric show, and I'm here to keep you company as usual. So let's do this, my beautiful people. Finding self, finding purpose. My name is Azine Kufrekanem, and I'm your host. As always, I'm thrilled to have you join us on today's episode. The topic is empowering women through finance. Please settle in. My apologies, very sincere ones. We're starting an hour late, but it's all for the cause, So please settle in, like and share the link, and we will start at the very beginning. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I see you. Welcome. So today we're talking about money. Yes, money. And we're delighted to welcome a representative from Stanbic IBTC Bank to discuss their support for the Up You Women Conference 2024. But then that's not all. We will be discussing and we will explore the crucial role financial institutions play in empowering women. The motivations behind Stanbic IBTC's sponsorships and the broader impact of such initiatives on women's economic empowerment. So stay with me for an insightful conversation on how Stanbic IBTC Bank is contributing to the advancement of women in Nigeria. There is something they say, follow who know road. So you better come here from Stanbic IBTC and know where you should be going with your banking needs. Okay, be kind to follow us on all our social media platforms at Up You with Azine on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X. We'd love to connect with you and keep this conversation going long after this live episode is ended. Please like and share the stream. Invite everyone in here. It is one way you help our ministry so we can continue to serve you better. Remember, the topic today is empowering women through finance. May I remind you that all episodes of Up You with Azine are now on our YouTube and podcast channels at Up You with Azine. Be sure to follow us so you don't miss a thing. Welcome, everyone. It's time to bring our guests into the studio. Don't go anywhere.
Good
if
morning.
you're just joining us, this is Up You with Azine, and we are live on YouTube, Instagram. If you're just joining us, this is Up You with Azine, and the topic today is empowering women through finance. Our guest today is Modupe Banjoko, a professional banker with over 13 years experience, working for a multinational bank with footprints across different continents. She has managed and led diverse portfolios that have contributed significantly to her expertise in operations, digital financial services, SME business management, product design for SME, as well as engagement solutions and delivery model for businesses. She has led and mentored high-performing teams to create award-winning regional projects. She firmly believes that to drive change, one must be part of the process, and this is what drives her. Modupe is passionate about the intersection between banking and technology and the process of banking digitization and supporting women-owned and led businesses. She has a BSc in Applied Mathematics and a minor in Computer Science from North Carolina Central University, Durham, USA, and an MSc in investment from University of Birmingham, England. Modupe is married and a proud mother of two boys. Dear everyone, world over, please join me to welcome to the show this morning Modupe Banjoko. Good morning, Modupe. How are you?
Thank you, Ezene. Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Morning, Lagos. Morning, Nigeria, and morning to the world.
Oh, wow. Modupe, it's like you have to come and take my job and I'll take your own because you said that so nicely. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, everything. You just did that
I'm
very
trying.
professionally. Yeah, you're more than trying. You're quite good. So if I'm looking for a co-host one day, I'll come calling on you.
It's a deal.
It's good, 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 good. It's good to see you. You look absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And so do you as well. You wear that
Thank
lipstick
you.
very well.
I'll tell you a bit about this lipstick so that you understand. I have a mentor who is also a very dear friend and sister of mine. Her name is Chichi Iro, and Chichi taught me that on the days that you're having a bad hair day or bad anything day, just pop on a red lipstick. It has a way
It's a
of
very
brightening you up and keeping you going. So whenever you see me wearing a red lipstick, something is not going right somewhere, but I'm winging it. Okie dokie. If you're just joining us, this is Up You with Azine, and topic on the burner is empowering women through finance. Um, you can all see that Modupe is ready and we are rolling. Modupe, please, can you tell us a bit about Stanbic IBT Bank mission and vision, especially in relation to women empowerment? What's your bank's
Gee,
vision and what's your bank's mission?
yeah, I know we don't have all day, so isn't it, I would do us good by summarizing my response to that quickly. I think I would
Mhm.
start to say that from Stanbic IBTC, which we are a member of Standard Bank, you know, primarily Africa is our home and we drive her growth. And that is something that is very critical to us as a business and the reason why we're in business. And if I bring it home here to Nigeria, I can say that Nigeria is my home and I drive her growth. And I think for us, in terms of the mission, is to be that leading end to end financial service provider through innovation and customer focused people. So when you marry all of this together in terms of why are we in business and how do we want to show up in business, that's just it, to drive the growth of Africa, because we're thinking the continent at large, not just in countries where we currently have footprints, and make that impact through innovation and through customer centric people personals. And I think just answering your the later part of your question around women, one of the things we've done as an institution that is over 160 years old, again, our linkage through Standard Bank is that we key into strategic pillars or focus in terms of execution. So for us, we're very, very much keyed into the UN Sustainability Development Goals. And when we look at unpack that under the SDG Goal 5, where it's about gender equality, the focus then mandates that even as a financial institution, we must key into it. How do we support the girl child? How do we support women in business? How do we support even female personals, in the workforce? And I can say that that's, what keeps us going every day. That's what we focus on. And those are our core, reasons for being in existence to drive all these various agendas.
Thank you very much. Very brilliant response. I like some key words that you used, and one of them will be keyed in. You're certainly keyed in into all the goals that you've set for yourselves. Um, can I quickly ask, because you just said you were 160 years old, that's a new one on me, and I'm sure maybe on some of the other people also listening in. In how many continents are you in? Where do you have footprints in the world? How many?
So I think currently right now, and pardon me if I'm not 100% because it keeps we keep, but I know we have footprint in over 20, African countries. Again, Africa is our focus. We do
Mhm.
also have footprint in England, and ICBC, which is the largest, bank by asset in China, also has a stake in Standard Bank. That also. So just to bring it home to say that because we're a member of Standard Bank and that affiliation, that's where you hear that 100, and Standard Bank is over 160. I think we're about 165 years old in business, and I have been doing business, but our focus is in Africa because, like I mentioned earlier, Africa is our home, and that is where we want to drive that growth in Africa.
Interesting. It's always good. When I said to people earlier when I was making my broadcast, I said, come and get to know Stanbic IBTC Bank. I'm sure a lot of people were like, what do you mean get to know? But I'm sure that people are beginning to say, oh, we didn't know this about you. So you see, there's a lot to know, a lot to learn about Stanbic IBTC Bank. So now, Modupe, please tell us what motivated you to sponsor the Up You Women Conference 2024?
Okay, I'll try and summarize this quickly. I think about it was before COVID. We started a journey, within the Standard Bank Group, and that's our future ready, future transformation journey, that we started um, before COVID. And the reason or rationale for that is, to be 160-year-old business, that means you've weathered a lot of tides, you've weathered a lot of change, in the
Mhm,
economy, and a lot of changes have happened even before COVID. And now there are new ways of working, there are new ways of engaging. Gone are those days where you go to a bank and you would queue up. Because you want to have transactions done. So, as an organization, I think every time and every season, we see how we reinvent ourselves. And during that period, we reinvented ourselves as a platform business. And what it means, I think the easiest way, it's been explained to me, and I can say is we own a mall. And in that mall, we have our store. And in the store, we now have various shops such that a customer coming in can then get financial services from us because that's our key subject matter area of expertise. And then you can then get other services as well from that store. If we now link in that ideology and that way of doing business with supporting women, the reality is if we look at today's woman, she needs support in financial and non-financial avenue. But our core area of expertise again is financial. So what does that mean? It means partnership becomes very critical for us, especially now that we're a platform business, because all those other users in our mall where we power, our subject matter areas in different things where our customers would want to be serviced. And I think that's what this platform brings. And that's why it is very critical. We are looking for like minds where we can partner together and solution for women. There's no point reinventing the wheel. Azine, you already have your platform, and women are coming here being fed every time, because of course, if you miss the live show, you can go back on the recordings and get useful nuggets of how it can make impacts in your life. So rather than, go rent a hall or look for this same audience, we can collaborate with you and then use this platform to add value and give back, to the same women we want to support and empower. And I think that was why it was important to partner with this initiative and see how we can, again, empower women.
I needed to do that because I mean, the next thing that is going to come
I
out
was
of
going
my
to say,
mouth
do you want
is,
some water?
oh, thank you. That's what a bank does. It supports you. Even across the wall, she wants to give me water. Thank you so much, Modupe. And honestly, at this point, I need to say thank you to Stanbic IBTC Bank because they came through for the conference. And your reasons are very cogent and they resonate with me and the community as a whole. It is important to understand what your reasons are, and it's important to know that you actually take time to think about the whole picture and think about the woman and the women led businesses and say, how can I reach them without having to go and find them by yourselves one after the other? We welcome your support. We're very grateful for it. So tell us,
Thank you.
what's the overall view? How do you view the role of financial institutions in supporting women-led initiatives and businesses? It seems to be something that has caught on. Most banks now say they have um, female products and female, this and that. Are we just mouthing it? Or is it really that we are here to empower the woman financially to enable her become all that she's supposed to be?
I think, truth be told, maybe some years back, we would say we were mounting it. And I think, that was so probably because of the understanding we had at the time. I mean, I recall within the same organization sometime in 2018 when the central bank came up with that circular, in terms of keying into the SDG 5 goal and mandating all the banks, to have a female focused agenda. And, just like every other organization, we also went to work. The truth is, I was actually a part of that team at the time. But, if I fast forward a couple of years now to what it is that we're doing, I think we've gone beyond just a checkbox. I can remember sitting in front of an audience then December 2018 and trying to get the committee's senior management approval for our version of the solution for women, which we call Blue Blossom. And somebody made a mark then to say, look, this is just something we must do. Central bank has asked, let's just tick the box and approve this and move on. I laugh now because it's gone beyond that. There's that sense of ownership. You're seeing lives being transformed. And we're seeing that we're giving women platform, women that had the substance in them, that had capacity to change, global change, but just needing that platform and that support. And it wasn't there. And I think now a lot of banks are now showing up. So I mean, just to say that it is very critical. It is. And we over time we've also seen where we've seen DFIs also put in a framework, because I think that was also another area that didn't bring that clarity to a lot of us, um, PFIs at the time. How do we do this? How do we put this structure in the place? Is it just a product, or is it beyond a product? Because now I don't call it a product, I call it a customer value proposition for women in business. So the DFIs have put the 2X criteria, that's the 2X challenge framework, in place to kind of put some sanity to and help, so that we're not all just assuming, does this meet or fit the box or not? So I think very, very critical. I'm not going to bore us with stats, but if we look at the economy today and bringing it home to Nigeria, where currently right now, I think with recent publication in PwC is saying that MSMEs contribute 48% of our GDP. If we look at other
Mhm.
markets, it's larger than that. And then let's even break down that data and look at what represents women or not. And we're saying it's just a shy 41%. And then let's even unpack it and say, in the bank today, in our banking sector, or backtrack 5, 6 years ago, what were we doing for women owned business? I don't think anybody would give a number above a single digit. But the reality is, we need to create a platform for women to show up. And we see what they're doing. I mean, globally, we're seeing that when it comes to credit, when it comes to your brand ambassador, when it comes to, having small and making something humongous out of it, women are showing up. So, I mean, to wrap up the question, I would say that a lot of banks now, I think that lens, film has now been taken off our eyes. We can see better. We're seeing the success stories coming out, and we're now putting our bank, our mouth behind it. And in Stanbic IBTC, I can even tell you for free that the level of accountability is even at board level. I mean, just even bring it in locally and not even looking at it from a standard bank group. On a board level, we're being made accountable to, on a quarterly basis to talk about what it is that we're doing and how we're showing up and making an impact or making impact in the lives of women in business.
Thank you very much. Someone said to me the other day in a conversation, this is the best time to be alive as a woman. Everybody wants to support you to thrive and triumph over anything at all, so long as you are committed yourself to showing up. And it's so interesting that you come on the show today and you have the same positioning. You are also saying the same thing to women. So long as you are ready to show up, we will give you the support that you need to ensure that you show up very well,
Correct.
profitably in your books as a business and profitably for yourself as a woman. That is very heartwarming. So now, Mudupe, could you please share some specific programs or initiatives by Stanbic IBTC Bank aimed at empowering women so that we'll know what options are available to us?
Isn't it? This is where I would go on and on and on and talking because this is particularly my desk, but I will try
Oh,
and,
wow.
keep I'll try. I'll try and wrap up that question quickly. So I think,
Okay.
like I mentioned earlier, the primary focus was how do we support women in business? How do we empower women? And we were able to put that under two pillars: financial and non-financial. And of course,
Mhm.
as where this is our core area of expertise as a financial service provider, just a little bit nuggets in case some people don't know. We run an old co structure, and what that means is that we not only run bank, but we have several subsidiaries within Stanbic IBTC Bank, more than 10 subsidiaries. A few is our pension business, our bank business, our trustees business, investment business, asset management business. I'll keep it, at a wrap. But what that affords us is that we are truly an end-to-end financial service provider. If we, onboard a client across our group, we can solution for you to invest, we can solution for you to protect, we can solution for you to save, and even growth in terms of your day-to-day transaction. I think if we then look at it in that angle, what we've done is a value proposition that we've given to women. And within the bank, we have a flagship offering solution called Blue Blossom. So with the Blue Blossom, that's where we've unpacked, all the various products or solutions that can help women save, invest, and aligning with the 2x criteria, which says that, for us to say we are truly supporting women, in business or women-led businesses, that those solutions should be disproportionately skewed and favored to women. So what it then means is that if a business that is majority man owned today comes to me to be onboarded, and yourself, Ezine, as a woman in business, come to me onboarded, I will give you concessions in terms of what it is that I would offer. It could be similar product, but you would get concession from pricing, you would get concession in terms of fees, and even some products, as we have the Blue Blossom, is exclusive to a woman-owned business. So we don't even argue on that one. If you come to me as a woman in business today and I onboard you on my SME, I start off by taking transaction fees off their kind of account you run. No limits in terms of turnover you do, no restriction in terms of balance. Just transact and go, and you get it for free. And then, of course, we've leveraged on the group to see other solutions as well, or other offerings that women would subscribe for, like insurance. They want to put an educational trust or will. All of that, again, is discounted. And then we now go to the non-financial, and this is where partnership comes in. So we have niche events, like your event coming up. We have different other women platforms, and we key into those platforms to see how we can help our women, we can empower women. creates visibility in terms of access to platform. Last week, Saturday, we had, first of its kind, the Bloom Weekend, where we had a trade show. It was our maiden event, and we sponsored for free, zero naira, zero kobo, you know, 50 women in business, created, and it was a landmark, created a very conducive environment for them, showcase their goods, and then, people came in there, and then, our customers, and it was open to the general public. Again, access and visibility to market so they can come in and show. And there are many, many more niche events and capacity building training. Again, all of these things in terms of the non-financial, we make sure we partner with subject matter experts within the industry, and then, create those platforms for our guests to come. And then, and most of these events are actually free to existing and, new prospects in terms of clients. I think the last one I would say, which I'm very proud of to also be a part of, is that I pride ourselves in saying that we're probably the first bank that has a risk asset offering. We call it Easy Cash Blue Blossom. It can be all you need to do is just transact in your account, and it's totally digitized. And if you then get qualified, you will get a notification that you qualify. You can subscribe for that solution on your phone. But we have one that is specifically focused to our women in business. So that particular, and of course, again, going back to the definition, making your solution to disproportionately, skew towards women. So what we're saying is that, even I remember when we sat for the credit for putting, that solution in, we had to emphasize to say, look, this is what we're trying to do for women, because we need to create that platform so that women can show up and be serviced. So some of the criteria that you would put to say, no, this is what we are putting to mitigate risk. We're saying we're taking a chance on women because we know that we can trust women. We know that when it comes to repayment, women will repay when it's due, and they would also be our brand ambassador. So we're saying, don't create this offering like we would do any normal offering. Let's create this having in mind that only women are going to consume this. So, I mean, that has been running now. So, there are a bouquet of different things I could talk about, but I'm just being mindful that before Azine cuts me off to say, Mudupe, let's we still have more areas to go through. So that's one of the things, and many more, that we're doing to supporting women own
You
and
know,
led
Modupe,
business.
I will never cut you off because I mean you're the one holding the strings, and if I cut you off, I cut myself off. So you can be sure that I'll never do that. But then again, thank you honestly for helping us to see that you are more than a bank. You are actually a woman's partner in fulfilling her dreams and her purpose. Anyone who has a dream and a purpose should be partnering with you. Because the truth is, all of what you've talked about now, some of it is news to me. Um, of course, if you want to save, I understand that. If you want to invest, I understand that. If you want to do asset management, I understand that. But Blue Blossom, as I was listening to you, it was sounding like a product created by women for women.
Correct.
It was as if, oh, correct? Did you say
Correct. Yes.
correct?
Correct.
Oh, wow. Because it
As
was
of
as if I just said to myself, this product meets every need I have as a woman. Where have I been? Why haven't I, taken advantage of this? And I said to myself, it can only be a woman who will think like a woman and know exactly what to put in. So kudos to your bank and to everybody on this stream this morning, everybody listening to us. There is Blue Blossom. Even if you don't understand the rest of the products that Modupe has talked about, please walk into any bank and tell them that you heard on this show, Blue Blossom, and then ask to be told more about it. You have no reason not to be successful. There is Blue Blossom created just for you by people just like you. This is very interesting. But you see, I'm just sitting down here, I'm wondering, so how do you measure? How do you measure your impact and your contribution? All of these things that you're doing, how do you measure it? and everything you do to empower the woman.
So I think in terms of measuring, answering that question, and also tying into your earlier feedback to say this was a woman creating something for a woman. As an
Hmm.
organization, we have clear KPIs, goals that we set at the beginning of every year. We have a
Hmm.
within the organization, besides business driving this agenda, we also have a sustainability unit. And in conjunction with, the sustainability unit, we then map out at the beginning of the year key areas that we want to do and those impacts that we want to measure. Like I mentioned earlier, I mean, just to say for free, when we did a revamp of the Blue Blossom offering May last year, and I can tell us honestly that we had female board members sit with ourselves, just unpacking what we were doing and how we were
Hmm.
coming up with this value proposition. And it was our CE and MD and an executive director that also chaired in terms of review. I remember us putting things together. CE and the ED reviewed, that work in conjunction with, some of our board members, both female, and we had to then unpack it. So in terms of measurements, I mean, the organization has done, a clear work to say it has to be smart, just like we do our goals today. It has to be measurable. We need to, everything, and it has to have timelines. And with those smart KPIs, as it focuses on sustainability, supporting women, we are clear on what it is that we need to achieve. So if I look at even my KPI for the year, those things are there. How many customers are we, Blue Blossom customers, are we onboarding this year, Mudukwe? How much are we going to give out from a balance sheet perspective? And those things are measured monthly, even weekly, such that at exec level, my ED reviews every week. There's a report which I share to my executive director within our business space where they review the progress we make in those KPIs on a weekly basis. On a monthly basis, at country exco, it's also being reviewed, and on a quarterly basis, it's also then being reviewed, at board level. So the measurements have been defined, and of course, if we exceed, then we go into a stretch mode capacity, and that's really how we all hold each other accountable. So it's not a Mudukwe is driving a pet project. It's not saying like that. It's then saying that as a business in Stanbic IBTC, we're all holding each other accountable, and we've cascaded, these goals and target across our various KPIs. And at all of these checkpoints, like I earlier mentioned, we then measure how we're progressing. And if there are things we need to tweak, we're then tweaking and then seeing how we can. But we must meet those KPIs. And with the G factor, things are going as expected. So we thank God for that.
Interesting. As I listen to you, I'm like, she is so passionate about her job because this is beyond the line of duty, if you ask me. Um, so I wonder, you would be about the fourth person I'm interacting with from the Stanbic IBTC Bank. I do not even know your. Are you in the head office?
Yes,
Okay, so
at
you
the
see,
tower.
so yeah, so I mean, you will be about the fourth person I'm interacting with from the bank, and everybody comes across very passionate. How do you people train yourselves? What did they give you there? Because I need to come and get some of it myself.
Okay. I think just in summary, it's the bank also lets us find our passion. I've been in the organization going 14. I actually did my NYC year, and I have moved to
Really
about
not.
four. No, I'm not. And I actually have moved to about four different units. Most of them actually not voluntarily, maybe one voluntarily, but then it's about growing people. Our values, part of our values is growing our people within the organization. And what that allows is that, once potential is being seen, sometimes some of us have it, but not willing to do that work. You just get a bit of nudge to say, Modipe, are you sure you don't want to? Because I remember when this task came, my executive director actually called me, it's an open door. And then he just walked up to me and said, I have something I'm going to give you. We've been told at board we're not focusing on driving the CVP for women. And he said, I know the lady I'm going to go talk to, that she's going to handle this. And just right after board, he comes downstairs and comes to my desk and tells me, Modipe, you're going to champion, this Blue Blossom offering. We're not doing much. People are not aware of it. But most importantly, we're not making the impact we set out to do. So, and I'm going to give you all the support. If you need me to join meetings, if you need me to call people, if you need me to do research, if you need that check signed, come to me. All the resources I will do. And like I mentioned earlier, the resource was so overwhelming that we even had female board members come meet us. So at the end of the day, the organization creates that enabling environment for you. And I think in a way, they kind of, even if we don't initially know, they skew us to where they see our strength and our passion. And we're immediately, so I was doing something different, driving digital, looking at all our digital channels and how we can support MSMEs. And then this came to my desk to say, in addition to what you can do, Modipa, we think you can swing this. It's kind of interwoven. You're just focusing on this. And then it started. And then even me, I started to blossom, isn't it? So, so this is very, very dear to me. It is. And again, because you see how lives are being transformed and how it cascades down to the community, how households change, and it's just giving people that platform, that audience, and saying, let's do the work together. So in Stanbic IBTC, we partner for growth. That is our focus. We're not banking just because we want to earn. Yes, the customer pays our salary. We're grateful for that. But at the end of the day, what is critical for us in terms of our core client engagement model is that we partner for growth. Because if the customer grows, the customer then helps us to make an impact in Nigeria and in Africa. And hey, it also goes through our bottom line as well. So it becomes a mutually beneficial, a relationship. But again, I guess it's follow your passion, and I guess that's where I would give our people and culture that props. Your namesake as well, isn't it? To say that they get it right in terms of getting the right people in and nurturing and mentoring. And I think the last thing is just that we have mentors. Even at your entry level graduate trainee, those individuals, that come in are assigned mentors, senior management staff. So you can almost see the impossible. You can see the ceiling because we have people who started just like me, NYC, and have become executive directors in this organization. Even the CE started, just like entry. Our currency today started, as an entry level employee within, this business. And now he's the CEO of the group. And so I guess the bank helps us dream big. And once you can dream it and see it, it can be. So our slogan internally is it can be, because it just takes things coming together and we've seen it be.
Wow. I'm blown away. And I'm usually not speechless, but I think I've momentarily lost my speech because I was just listening to you and some words. I'm a sucker for words, so the words were just popping at me: enabling environment, mentorship, you know, and being able to cross apply learning and all of that, and growing from entry to wherever your potentials can take you to. And then you kind of finished it up for me when you said, I'm blossoming. And that goes without even, there's no debate about that. You certainly are blossoming. And that just, excuse me
Sorry.
again. And I was just saying, there are no coincidences in life. There is no coincidence that Stanbic IBTC is sponsoring Uphill Women Conference, because the theme of the conference this year is Through the Fire, Triumphing in Adversity. And here you are talking to us about blossoming as well. And so it means that there is a synergy here, and it's good that we are collaborating, because what we want the women to do, what we're trying to do with the conference, is to tell the women that, you know what, you can actually become more than you are right now, irrespective of whatever it is that life is throwing at you or has thrown at you. You can wake up like the phoenix and rise again. You can take another look at it and move to your right sideways or move forwards. But don't stay stagnant. Do not be stuck in one place. And I just smiled because you put the clincher on it. You're blossoming. And ultimately, we would want every woman
To
who is
blossom.
coming to the conference, who will watch the conference later, to blossom, to take the nuggets and blossom. There is so much to
Right.
unpack from what you've said. I love your bank. Do you admit people who are over 50 who have had like several careers?
We'll talk offline, isn't it?
She says we're going to talk offline. Okay, we have someone joining us. Okay, Chuku. Do we know Ogechuku? Let's bring up Ogechuku and see whether we know Ogechuku. Okay, Ogechuku has run away. So we are going to imagine she didn't come at all. All right. So I'm loving your bank so much. So very much. So please, I know you might not want to call names, but could you please just provide some success stories? We Nigerians, we are die-hard people. As far as
Yeah,
I'm
so
concerned, you're doing PR for this your bank now, and me too. I'm helping you do PR because you have given me support. But can you give us,
yeah.
just give us some facts, and they will know that, you know what, this is not PR. This is real facts.
Okay, there are two stories that I think come to
Yeah, we're
mind,
getting two.
and
I thought we'll get only one. Go ahead.
I'll give you two. I'll give you two because they are very dear to me, and I think I just even sent a message to one of the clients. And
Okay.
and I think so the first one I would say because um, the connection we had with the clients even predates when we started. We coined a name around Blue Blossom, or
Mm-hmm,
aligning with SDG, and this was
mm-hmm,
just in my early days when we joined the organization. So this
mm-hmm,
this actually happened some about 12, 12 years ago. So it was around the period 12, 13 years ago when we started capacity building. We'd seen a lot of things in terms of why a lot of our SME customers struggled to get access to finance. And then we had done some unpacking, and to just see what were the issues. And I think we had identified some areas around bookkeeping. When you come and then you're assessing your credit, what are those things that disqualify? And we're seeing that quite a lot of women were in that bucket. And we also saw that there were some women that had done good and just stayed on the same level for quite a while. So at that time, we had two sessions of capacity building. One was the general we're seeing now. We partnered with, um, well, it's not a PR. So pardon me, just in case I get carried away, I mentioned it. But we partner with an institution here in Lagos that is quite big in terms of supporting MSMEs. One of the big schools that we have here on the Ekpe access, and we had capacity
Lagos
building
Business
sessions.
School. Go ahead,
Yes,
give them their
Lagos, yes.
flowers.
The Enterprise Development School, to be specific.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm,
that was where we partnered with. So we had a general session. We now had a second stream where we then thought these women had gotten to some level and then just needed to blossom, propel, such that they can then have that framework to start positioning themselves as multinationals, large corporates. And for that, we partnered with the name just skipped me now, but it's one of a major business institutes in China. And
Mhm.
it was a 2 weeks conference. And if you had, you can then sponsor yourself to go to China and then continue a frame of it. But the bank actually
Mhm.
paid for the course itself. You could have done
Mhm.
everything local, or you go for it, you know. And one of the clients we sponsored at the time was heavy into procurement. And in addition to procurement, she was getting a lot of jobs making uniforms, making even security wear for quite a lot of banks, you know, that we have in the country today. Um, Majority of the raw materials she was getting, she was importing from China. And then while she was importing from China, she was also doing the branding and a lot of the tweaking from China. And she had the expertise. She had been doing this business, took over from her mom, just like her daughter in primary school also took over from her and is now doing the same business, just expanded. So all she needed was just going through that kind of framework or a curriculum, like a classroom, somebody holding her hands, letting her see what she needed to do such that she can actually set up a factory in country, get some of our inputs from China, which will reduce our cost, and then train staff because she now has all this equipment, and then she can scale up in terms of manufacturing. And she went through the program. Also, while doing the program, she was also able to connect with a lot of A-list women who, at the end of the day, all told them that they sponsored themselves. So we sponsored, it was two streams. So for her stream, one lady, you know, was pregnant and had difficulties, so she couldn't come. Somebody else, there was another reason and had to postpone. So for that particular stream, she was the only one from the bank. So even while talking, she was telling them that my bank paid for me. And everybody was, you know, just blown out that, no, you're kidding me, you're lying. She had to show evidence. Anyway, fast
Proof.
forward, she learned all she needed to. She got funds together, imported in less than 6 months, you know, she was able to cut her costs from importing a lot of finished good from China. She was producing here. She scaled so well in her business such that she became the regional procurement go-to for Etisalat. At the time, Etisalat. So you can even see that this story is a while back. And she
Yeah.
was the one that was sourcing for Etisalat, even MTN on a regional West African basis. Um, I think there were some other issues, even with uniforms. You know, I mean, just to just say that she was able to scale her business because the learnings and the information she had, she was able to get it in that, you know, platform arena. She was able to network with the right people. And before you knew it, in terms of getting jobs and, you know, putting her name out there, that people saw her as a trusted partner, you know, everybody started coming to her and she was able to. So that's one. The second one is more recent, and it's a customer who is in the high-end fashion business. For this client, they had already done the work. This is somebody who trained in Belgium, in Europe, and already had the expertise, but wanted to, you know, have her product tagged "Made in Nigeria." So because of that, she moved all our resources to Nigeria, but she needed resources. One of the big fashion house in England approached her and wanted to start, you know, stocking her goods, but then she didn't have the access to finance. And this is, you know, that kind of relationship where they say if you even get the job and they say jump, you say how high. So for her, she now had done the work, she had gotten the connect, but she didn't have the funds because the structure wasn't there, collateral wasn't there. But we saw the business, we saw the cash flow, we saw the potential, and we put our money behind it. And before you know it, major fashion houses, even outside England, Asia, in America, are now calling her, wanting to stock her products. You know, I mean, this is the kind of product that you see a first lady wear, first ladies across, even in African continent. So globally, they're making a name for themselves now. And I think we as an organization were able to make this happen because, you know, we wanted to be a partner, a trusted partner, and partner for growth. And that's exactly what we did with these two female entrepreneurs. So they're going places and continue to go places. And now our brand ambassador, because at the time when they needed it so that their business can propel and scale, we were there for them.
Thank you very much. Two fantastic stories for us to be chewing and meditating on and positioning our own futures alongside, because it could be you next, you know.
Yeah,
So, but of course, women on the stream, women who will come and watch later, your bookkeeping and documentation process is very key. You heard her, it's very, very key. So if you're documenting, you're doing your right paperwork and all of that, then of course the networking comes in and everything. And then finally they will put the money behind your brand. I particularly like how you said the second lady, she'd done the work. She had just done the work. So she was just good to go. She was waiting to scale. And that's when we say opportunity met preparedness. You have to be prepared at
correct.
all times. Okay, when you're having fun, times keep running. So our 1 hour is up, but before I let you go, I want you to quickly tell us what attendees and participants of the OPU Women Conference 2024 should be looking at as benefits from Stanbic IBTC.
So I think for us, it's things we said earlier. We partner for growth, and I think we're putting our mouth in our foot to say that this is a focus area for us, not only in country but as a group. We truly want to partner and support women owned and led business, and the quickest way of coming and joining that community is joining our Blue Blossom community. So we have a Blue Blossom community. You can send an email to blue.blossom@stambicibtc.com. Blue.blossom@stambicibtc. And again, like I'd mentioned, it's not a product for us. It's a value proposition, that caters to our women from cradle to grave. Because you would all agree with me that if you're going to solution for me as a business, I also want to enjoy the solution in my personal capacity. I also want my daughter to be able to benefit from it as well while she's growing up to becoming a woman, and then running her business. So that's the value proposition we have. And it cuts across. Time will not permit me to go into details again, but please send us an email to blue.blossom@stambicibtc.com, and we'll pick up the engagements and share more details in terms of how you can enjoy the various offerings across that community.
Thank you very much, Mudube. Thank you so very much for coming on the show today. Trust me, I have become even more enlightened, and I believe that. Let me just take a quick look. Oh, yes. Everybody on the stream, they're all typing in, and everybody is actually, it's looking like we are all very, yes, yes, yes. Oh, they're thanking you and
Thank you.
for trusting the women and for investing in the women. So people are getting new knowledge. So my question to you out there, woman, is why are you still undecided whether you should be at the OPU Women Conference 2024 or not? This is just a tip of what is going to happen on that day. Odube is offering you Blue Blossom, and please make sure you send that email to her. And if in your journey, or like they say, if you have in your growth path as one of your goals to scale your business, to actually, make your business to be purposefully profitable on the way to going global, then I think you should be talking to Modube and Stanbic IBTC Bank. You know, trust me, I'm going to talk to her a lot after now. Oh, she's in trouble. I can tell you for free. She's in big trouble because I'm going to be asking all kinds of questions. And you know what they say where I come from? The person who asks questions doesn't get lost. So I'm going to be asking questions, and I'll be getting the answers. And trust me, I'll be bringing back the answers too to all of us in this community. But it will also be nice for you to ask your own specific questions as well, because Bodwe has told us one thing, which is one key thing I'm holding on to today: partnering for growth. I would definitely want to partner with somebody who wants my growth. And then she even now makes it really nicer. She says it's from cradle to grave. So if they partner with me now, they're going to be hand holding me, making sure that I do the things I said I'm going to do, making sure that I keep my own KPIs, making sure that, my path to scaling and to growth, I stick to it until it manifests and I begin to blossom. Yes, so please make sure that you do what? You go sign up to come to the UpU Women's Conference 2024. IBTC, Stanbic IBTC Bank has ensured that the conference will hold and it will be an empowering one. So please come on all out and let us make it to be so. Again, Modupe, I thank you for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure talking to you. You are so knowledgeable and it's so easy to have conversations with you. So we'll keep this conversation going on long after now on social media, and we'll use the hashtag Blue Blossom, everyone. Hashtag Blue Blossom, and we'll pick you up and be able to give you the right email addresses to be able to get the solutions that you need. Like Mudupe kept saying on this show, we're going to unpack your needs. Yeah. So that's a new word on me, and I'm going to be using it all the time. We're going to unpack. So we're going to unpack all that. Yeah. So before we wrap up, let me formally remind you all about the upcoming UpU Women Conference 2024. It's an event you won't want to miss, packed with inspiring speakers and empowering sessions. Whether you choose to attend virtually or in person, make sure you secure your spot. Let's continue to uplift and empower each other. And this is where we bring today's edition to a wrap. You must all agree that it's been another amazing one. So please follow us on our Instagram and Facebook page at UpU with Ezine. Get copies of our books, UpU, When Adversity Strikes, Fight, and Recalibration Blueprint. Please go ahead and get those copies for yourself, for your friends, and for your family. You'll get so many nuggets that will help you with your life. Big up to everyone that is involved in creating this magic every week. Starting with you, our dear listeners, our guests, our advertisers, the callers, the engineers on duty, and the amazing UpU team. I give you your flowers today because you guys delivered this show. So UpU, UpU, UpU. Thank you everyone for joining in. Be sure to check out Stanbic IBTC's website and make sure that you get yourself logged on to Blue Blossom. I cannot shout this thing enough. Oh, don't let me lose my voice, people. Please be going there now so that we can all have success stories. It's not tomorrow now. You see that song that they used on the last post we made? I'm not gonna take it easy on my haters. It's not tomorrow now. You'll be singing that song. Better be going there so they can tell you how to take it easy and surmount everything that is facing you or everything that you're facing. Yeah? All right. Until I come your way next week, please stay inspired and keep making a positive impact in the spaces where you find yourself. My name is Etineku Frekanem. I'm from Modupe, and myself is bye-bye and UpU. Great one. Thank you. Bye.